I had a chance to speak with and just listen to and learn from Brian Stevenson in Montgomery, Alabama, and learn from his work on working with the community to build a memorial to justice and to peace. And he said, foundational to reparations is the word repair. Foundational to repair is the truth. And until all Americans understand that civil rights are not just those victories that I began with at the outset of my comments, but the injustices that have been visited and continue to be visited on people, we will never get the change that we need to live up to the promise of this country. So absolutely, I would sign that into law. And I promised Reverend Sharpton that I would just not dwell on disappointment. They are one part of a larger system, not just of criminal justice in this country, but a system that has successfully suppressed some Americans based on their race for as long as we have been a country.
Beto, you done come in here and wiped out my board.
Coming from the U.S.-Mexico border, the ability to listen to and talk with folks in English and in Spanish, running in what was thought to be a reliably red state, and not only coming close, but helping others to win their races, including 17 African-American women winning judicial positions in the city of Houston. All of this shows that we can bring something to this race and bring people together, perhaps in a way that we haven't before, but in a way that we need right now, not only to defeat President Trump, but to hit the ground running in January of 2020.
And who loses in a natural disaster? You do. Communities of color, people. If you've heard anything about me, you've heard that there's an Asian man running for president who wants to give everyone $1,000 a month.
I came through my stages of grief to really, and there were a lot of stages of grief.
How can you even start to explore an issue if you don't even have a commission to study it, which is what the law authorizes? It's a very basic, logical first step. But I would go again further. I would put $1,000 a month in the hands of every adult starting at age 18, which would have a disproportionate impact. And then I would say that is not reparations. We need to study reparations independently of the fact that we need to make this economy work for you all. Minimum.
What are the issues that I think are front and center in this country? And you mentioned a couple of them a minute ago. I think we have to.
I would get rid of private prisons because it's perverse to have prisons with a profit motivation. You got to get rid of that. And this is an issue that does affect your community more. I would legalize marijuana, and then I would pardon everyone who's in jail for a nonviolent drug-related offense. I would pardon them all on April 20th, 2021, and I would high-five them on the way out of jail. I will be the guy who beats Donald Trump in 2020. We will take this case all the way to the White House and win, because the opposite of Donald Trump is an Asian man who likes math.
Thank you.
We need to pass a value-added tax that would get Americans a sliver of every Amazon sale, every Google search, every Facebook ad, and return that money to the American people, which would then strengthen our communities and our economies, build a trickle-up economy from our people and families up instead of from the top down. When you talk about a businessman, Donald Trump's a bad president because he's a bad president. But other entrepreneurs know that Donald Trump is not a real entrepreneur. He's a marketing charlatan. He gives entrepreneurs a bad name. So what we need someone with a vision that's going to improve the lives of tens of millions of Americans. And to me, many Americans do not care what that candidate's background is. They will want someone in office who's going to actually improve things on the ground for them and their families.
Buenos dias. Good morning. It's still morning, I think. Our country will never truly heal until we address the original sin of slavery. I've said that if under our Constitution that we compensate people if we take their property, why wouldn't we compensate people who were considered property and sanctioned by the state? I support Congresswoman Jackson Lee's H.R. 40 to appoint a commission to make a recommendation to the President of the United States on how we can do reparations in this country. And I believe that for the black community, for the white community, for every other American, that it's important to address that original sin. And until we do, we may feel like we're moving forward as one nation, but I don't think that we ever will. You know, I grew up with a mother that was a hellraiser when she... We need to ensure that we build on the First Step Act and reform our criminal justice system, that we do things like legalize marijuana, that we encourage communities to go back and expunge the records of too many people who have been caught up in this criminal justice system and locked behind bars for small-level offenses.
I started voting in 1972 when I was...
He's asking you to choose cruelty. I want you to choose compassion. We have a border that is more secure than it ever has been. We can maintain its security and also act like decent human beings while we do it. And in the long run, we need a 21st century version of the Marshall Plan for Central America and Latin America, so that people can find safety and opportunity there in their home country, instead of having to knock on the doorstep of the United States, and both of us benefit.